Today I'm going to talk about how training arms can actually improve your shoulder mobility. Hi, I'm Alex Effer, founder of Resilient Training and Rehab, and I've helped thousands of coaches and practitioners get faster and more consistent results with their clients. Let's get into it. Traditionally, a lot of people used to say that arm training wasn't really functional, and when people wanted to improve mobility or even performance, it was kind of something that people just wanted to do, but wasn't really recommended. But today I'm going to show you with a couple exercises how we can actually position these type of arm exercises in order to not only improve mobility, but also train arms, which everybody likes to do anyway. So let's get into the first exercise. First exercise was one of my favorite, is going to be the preacher curl. So one of the good things about the preacher curl is that not only does it train your biceps, but based on the position that we put our body into, we can actually open up our upper back and the base of our neck, which is going to improve shoulder flexion and shoulder external rotation. So if I turn my body towards this arm that I'm curling with, I am going to turn my rib cage towards the side, which is going to separate the spine and the scapula. Remember, if that spine and scapula get more separated, I'm going to improve the expansion back there, which is going to improve shoulder external rotation. Because I have more of this supinated grip, that is going to further that external rotation. If I breathe in and curl and I turn my neck and look down towards my bicep, I'm not only going to get the change at my rib cage, but I'm also going to get all the way to the neck, because C5 to T5 turn together at the same time. And so if I turn my neck, I'm going to get that rotation all the way down into my upper back, which is going to further that range of motion. So I'm going to inhale as I come up, exhale as I go down, and I'm going to turn my head, look down on my bicep. As I come down, I'm going to turn away from it. So I'm going to go back and forth. So now let's move on to the tricep. The tricep is going to do the opposite of what the biceps are going to do. They're actually going to improve internal rotation of the shoulder. By extending my elbow, that is going to be related to internally rotating my shoulder, just based on the fact that the long head of the tricep is going to create this shoulder extension, which is going to posterior tilt the scapula, and it's going to bring the scapula towards the spine. As I mentioned to you before, when we do the bicep curl, by separating the space between the scapula and the spine, we're going to open up the back. In this case here, we're actually going to focus on opening up the chest a little bit, which is going to restore that ability to internally rotate. So one of my favorite ways to do this is actually using this type of triangle bar. And by doing that, it kind of forces me into a little bit more internal rotation versus doing something like a reverse grip. And so by hinging over slightly, reaching my elbows down to the ground, that hinge alone is going to open up the back part of my pelvis, which, as we've talked about in previous videos, if I open up the back of the hip, I'm going to be able to restore that ability to internally rotate the hip. So I'm just going to go into this position. I'm just going to breathe out as I go down. And I'm not going to come down towards my body. I'm just going to keep this angle here, because this is going to force, as I push down, this is going to create this internal rotation at my humerus in my shoulder. As I breathe in, I'm going to come up, breathe out, go down. And so by just holding on to this angle, that's what's going to improve that ability to internally rotate. It's going to keep my back and keep my hips open at the same time. If you like this perspective on training arms while also improving mobility, then check out our full body program. We incorporate these type of concepts within the program to restore the mobility and improve fitness. I like this bicep curl variation because by having my shoulders starting in more of an extended position, as I curl, it's going to pull me into more flexion. So again, if my elbow goes in front of my body, it's going to open up my back, further improving that shoulder external rotation. So if we remember, bicep curl is going to improve the ability to externally rotate my shoulder, whereas tricep exercise is going to improve internal rotation. So by starting in a flexed position, even by maintaining this slight staggered stance position and keeping the weight to the heel, I'm going to further improve my shoulder mobility just by doing this type of bicep curl. So I'm going to inhale as I go back, exhale as I curl. I'm going to drive my elbow forward. One of the key things, I don't want to keep my elbow back here. I want my elbow to come forward with me as I go, because that's going to roll the shoulder back and again improve that shoulder mobility by opening up the back side of my rib cage. So this type of tricep exercise is an easy way to see how it can improve that shoulder internal rotation, because I'm gonna start into this internal rotation and a slight adduction, which just means I'm coming across my body slightly. And by performing that movement like that, as I extend my elbow, especially if I'm not allowing myself to go out towards the side, but I keep my hand within shoulder width apart, I'm gonna further maximize that internal rotation. And so one of the things that I find that people will do to compensate, especially with this one, is they're gonna let their wrist kind of move as they go. And this is an indication that we're missing that internal rotation of the shoulder. So when you're doing it, really make sure you have this fixed grip so that you're not allowing any type of bending, but you're actually gonna get the motion from the tricep and restore the mobility at the shoulder. Arm training can be a great way in order to improve shoulder mobility, not just because of the aesthetic aspect of it, but by carefully selecting the exercises and the appropriate variation, depending on your assessment, you can get the best results possible with any exercise you program. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.